Microinverters, DC optimizers. All solar panels need to have these, or do they? With the new Powerwall 3, Tesla has turned its back on module-level power electronics. Are they going backwards or leading a new generation of solar technology innovation? I'm going to be answering that question in today's video.
The smarter way to go solar.
All right, now in today's video, we're going to be answering the question, do we still need module-level power electronics? Now, when we talk about module-level power electronics, we're talking about microinverters or DC optimizers. Now, these are devices that connect to each solar panel, and they offer a number of benefits. Now, chances are, if you're out there, if you have a solar power system on your home, chances are you have a system either from Enphase with their microinverter system or SolarEdge with their DC optimized inverter system. Now, why do we use module-level power electronics? Well, they provide three main benefits. The first is module-level shade mitigation. Now, when shade hits a solar panel, of course, the less sunlight that hits the surface of that panel, the performance, the power output of that panel can go down. Now, with old solar panels, if you had shading that hit one part of the solar panel, not only would the performance of that individual solar panel be degraded, but every other solar panel that was connected together in series in that string, the performance would go down as well. And so module-level power electronics essentially allow each solar panel to operate independently as its own independent power source. So if performance was degraded on one panel, if one panel was knocked down because of shading or because of damage, all the other panels in the system could still operate near their maximum power potential. And now, of course, the other advantage is having module-level monitoring, meaning that you can pull up on the app and not only can you look at overall system performance, but you can even drill down and you can look at near real-time performance of your solar power system down to the per panel level. So a lot of homeowners like that because it gives you more visibility into how the solar power system is performing. It also means if you have an underperforming panel, you can pinpoint exactly where that is immediately. And then the third benefit is the rapid shutdown compliance. Now, rapid shutdown is part of the National Electric Code that governs solar. And basically what it's designed to do is to ensure that if the fire department has to come to your home, if they pull out the electric meter to shut off electricity inside the house, that the high voltage from the solar has to be disconnected up to within 10 feet of the solar array. And of course, having module-level power electronics on each solar panel inherently does that, because as soon as the grid signal goes out, power is cut directly to the module-level power electronics. In other words, right underneath each solar panel, the high voltage output is cut off. So you get that rapid shutdown compliance as well. So what are some of the drawbacks of module-level power electronics? Well, the first is it's just more complicated and more expensive to install. You have more individual pieces of equipment that have to be installed on the roof, so the equipment cost is higher, the labor to install it is higher, and then there's a number of different interconnections that still have to happen on the rooftop to connect all the MLPEs together and then bring one or two combined circuits down to ground level. So it is a more complex install. Also, there's the higher likelihood of something going wrong. Now, one of the benefits of MLPE that's often touted is this idea that, well, there's no central point of failure. Particularly, you're going to hear that language from Enphase is that microinverters are more redundant because there's no central point of failure. And that's true. No single microinverter could fail and bring the entire system down. However, since there are more individual pieces of equipment out there, there is a higher likelihood that something will go wrong. Right? Even if it's only one or two microinverters that go down, that still could cause a truck roll. In other words, the contractor still has to send a vehicle and a crew out there, at least one or two technicians out there, to get up on the roof and pull up the solar panel and replace a defective microinverter. You know, there's a saying amongst the solar installer community, we never roll on one. And what that means is we're never going to pay for a truck roll to replace a single defective microinverter. They want to wait until more of the system has degraded, or ideally they have multiple service calls that they can do on that truck roll. By the way, guys, for what it's worth, it costs the contractor about $800 for every truck roll. That's what it costs in terms of your fully burdened cost, labor, travel expense, vehicle expense, insurance expense. That's what it's costing your contractor every time they have to send somebody out to your house to do service after the install. So of course, the contractors want to minimize how often they have to send those technicians out, so they don't like to have to go out to roll on one because you have one microinverter down if the rest of the system is still functioning properly. Now, I know you homeowners out there may not like to hear that, but this is part of the things that your solar contractor has to balance, because The contractor has to stay profitable, not only on the original install, but also on the long-term warranty service, whatever it might cost to keep that system healthy for the entire 25 years of the system. And that's why many contractors say we never roll on just one. Hey, by the way, if you have a Solar Edge or an Enphase system and you've had one of your MLPEs go bad and you had to wait a long time for your replacement, go ahead and post a comment down below. We'd like to hear from you. We'd like to hear your story. Now, another recent innovation that I need to mention is the advent of bypass diodes. And what bypass diodes are, these are electrical components inside the solar module that provide electrons alternate pathways to flow through the solar module so that if there is shade that hits part of the solar panel, even if that cell that's shaded is not producing peak power, the other cells in the solar panel can still produce near to their full potential. And so again, the performance benefit that we used to achieve by using module level power electronics is not as high with modern solar panels with bypass diodes. And that's why a number of innovative brands have moved back to the traditional high voltage DC coupled string inverter architecture, which is a great time to introduce today's video sponsor, Point Guard Energy. If you're looking for an all-in-one solar and energy management system, then you need to take a look at the new Point Guard Home.
Point Guard Home gives you total control of your home's energy system, incorporating solar power, battery storage, bidirectional EV charging, and intelligent load control seamlessly integrated on a single platform. The system is built using a modular stackable design, allowing you to start with a small solar plus storage system and easily add more battery capacity or the DC EV charger at any time in the future.
So if you'd like more information, go to the Point Guard website or click the link in the description below so that you can get in touch with an installer right away. Thank you, Point Guard, for supporting the channel and for sponsoring today's video. So why are innovative brands like Point Guard and Tesla with the Powerwall 3? Why are they moving back to the high voltage DC coupled architecture? Well, one reason is because now solar with battery storage is becoming the mainstream, especially if you live in a developed solar market like California, Arizona, or Texas. Most solar systems being installed now are being installed with battery storage as well. They're not just the old grid tie only system. And so when you're talking about connecting solar panels and batteries together, since both solar panels and batteries are natively DC direct current devices, it's more efficient if you can keep that electricity in high voltage DC format coming off the roof and take that directly to the battery bus to charge the battery. Now, with an AC coupled battery, on the other hand, like what Enphase uses, you incur what's called the triple conversion penalty, which means you're converting direct current from solar panels into alternating current at each microinverter. You're sending alternating current electricity down to ground level into the battery, and then internally in the battery, it's reconverting the alternating current back into direct current because all battery cells are DC, direct current, natively. Then when you have to pull energy out of the battery, you have another conversion of DC to AC because our homes are wired for AC, so you have to invert it again when you pull out of the battery to power loads within the house. So by using a high voltage DC coupled architecture, you're going to get higher round trip efficiency between your solar and battery system. But the other reason is that they're just simpler and faster to install. The solar panels can be daisy chained together or series connected together on the roof, and then 1 or 2 or 3 circuits of high voltage DC comes down to the roof to the central inverter at ground level. And of course, this is something that's been lost in the solar and storage conversation. We've had a number of these new innovative batteries that came out, but a lot of the first and second generation batteries were very cumbersome to install. I know I've talked to a number of installers across the country, and what they're telling me is that, these first generation batteries, we didn't actually make any money installing them. We had a lot of lessons learned and we had a lot of mistakes and a lot of trial and error, but installing the solar with the battery was really just never profitable for us. We didn't really want to have to do it. We just felt we had to offer it because that's where the market was going. But now this latest generation of batteries, like the Point Guard system, like the Tesla Powerwall 3, are actually being received well by installers because installers can actually do the jobs quickly, efficiently, safely, and more profitably. And again, guys, I know, many of you watching this, you may not care. Well, I don't care if the contractor makes a profit. I don't care if the installer makes a profit. That's really not the right way to think about this. You don't want to think about this as solar and storage as like a one-time thing. I just buy it and then I'm done with the contractor and don't have to deal with them. Usually if you're buying a professionally installed solar system, you're not just buying the equipment, but you're buying the 25-year warranty guarantee that contractor is going to be around to keep the system healthy for you. And something will need service at some point during those 25 years. So you really do want your contractor to be making a profit. If the contractor doesn't have a profit, he has no incentive to stay in business. And then finally, the advantage to the contractor is the lower maintenance cost. We talked earlier about this idea of we never roll on one to replace one MLPE on the roof. Well, it's actually more costly for a contractor to send a technician out to replace an MLPE on the roof that requires you to set up the ladder, set up your safety equipment, and then start pulling up individual solar panels to find a defective MLPE. All the service, all the repair, replacement for a central inverter, DC coupled system, all that work can be done at ground level. And the nice thing about the point guard system in particular is that it breaks down into small modular pieces, so you don't even need any heavy lift equipment or any special dollies or anything like that. So it can be installed and serviced in very tight, very difficult to reach places. So this has been a discussion of, do we still need module level power electronics? In theory, if the central inverter and battery system works, it's going to be a more efficient, lower cost, more profitable installation all around, lower cost to the homeowner, more profitable for the installer, and higher performance. Of course, the Achilles heel of the DC coupled central inverter architecture is that it is a central point of failure. So if your inverter fails, you're losing your solar production and you're losing your battery storage and your battery backup. But if they work, in theory, the DC coupled high voltage architecture makes sense. Point Guard and Tesla are definitely all in on this new architecture, and it's going to be exciting to see if other manufacturers copy or imitate this design. Hey folks, as always, if you're getting good value from the videos that you watch on Solar Surge, make sure you give us a thumbs up, and also go ahead and hit the subscribe button as well if you haven't done so already. That way, as we have new videos like this coming out, it'll come up on your homepage and on your feed, so you can stay up to date with us. Of course, if you're a homeowner, if you're in the process of looking at different solar and battery storage options for your home, if you need to get a quote for one of the leading options or one of the options that we spoke about today, as always, feel free to reach out to us on the link below there. You can set up a call with a solar expert, or just use our free online quote tool to see how much solar and battery storage costs in your area. Well, that does it for today's presentation. I thank you all for spending some more time on the Solar Surge channel. And as always, I'm Joe Ordia here, encouraging you to get prepared and be empowered. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.